The Bangor Sawmill is the only fully functional water-powered sawmill in Nova Scotia and one of the last hydraulic turbine sawmills in North America. At the height of the sawmill era, the Meteghan River and its tributaries were home to 10 hydraulic sawmills. These sawmills were economical to operate and environmentally friendly since they only used renewable energy. The first sawmill on this site burned down in 1924, and the sawmill and all its equipment were destroyed. A second sawmill was built, but in 1929, that mill also went up in flames. Construction on the third mill began immediately. The sawmill was located next to the river, which facilitated the transport of logs. Trees were cut upriver and then transported downriver using a method called a log drive, a common practice in Canada's forest regions. During log drives, lumber was floated in rivers and transported down the sawmills. Trees were cut in the fall and winter because snow cover made it easier to haul the logs out to frozen lakes and then move them closer to rivers. Once the melting snow and rising water levels made travel water possible, the logs were released into the river and directed downriver to their destination. Skilled log drivers were tasked with overseeing and guiding the logs using long poles and oars. They often worked under dangerous conditions. Log driving played an important role in the forestry industry, allowing for efficient transport of large quantities of wood over long distances. However, the popularity of this method of transport fell over time due to increased road construction and tractor technology. In spring, the logs arrived at the mill in the form of booms or floating dams. In Clare, the logs were floated from Eel Lake to the sawmill. One place where it was difficult to run logs in the spring was a place called Roche Fondue or Split Rock, located on the banks of the Meteghan River. Here, the river narrows and the workers participating in the log drive of floating wood had to free up the logs that tended to pile up. They had to make shears, which are groups of logs attached together, that guided the logs and prevented them from getting caught on the river's shore. Sometimes they had to free the logs using dynamite. In 1994, a group of interested citizens acquired the Bangor Sawmill. This group became the Bangor Development Commission, whose mission was to restore the sawmill and promote its heritage. In recent years, a museum has been operated. During the summer, log sawing demonstrations were organized for visitors. Although the sawmill was recently closed for repairs to the dam, the revitalized group intends to reopen the museum to visitors for summer 2024 and beyond. Unfortunately, a fire destroyed the sawmill and museum on June 8, 2024. Despite this tragedy, a fundraising campaign is underway with a plan to rebuild on site.